Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's live stream. It's a bit light on this side. Let me just turn that light on. That's better. How's everyone doing? I'm Patrick. I'm the community manager for Gate.io. We have rebranded the stream to Crypto Fix. That's what it's going to be called from now on, which means that you're going to get your crypto fix of your need to know crypto knowledge of things happening at Gate.io, of course, the developments we're going through. We're cutting back a little bit on that information, to not overwhelm you with everything that's going on at Gate.io, because it's a lot to consume, but also because we want to show that there's a lot of other interesting stuff happening in the market at the moment, in regard to short-term, long-term, micro and macro. So the format's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be gone for a short while, but I'll talk a little bit about that at the end. So what are we going to start with? How about we start with the BTC price, which is currently, as it has been for the past few weeks, and maybe will be for the next few months. Who knows? It's around 9,150 USDT. So Bitcoin seems to be hanging around that support levels, not making any major moves, any major breakouts, because there's not much news. The thing that's getting the most attention right now is DeFi, decentralized finance. Now that's been going on, obviously, the rhetoric and the narrative of DeFi has been going on for a while. However, it's been getting a lot of traction recently because the majority of the DeFi coins out there, even the ones that have been out there since 2018, 2019, are getting noticed, right? So whether there are people with a lot of capital or small capital, reasonably unknown coins with really cool fundamentals, they have come out and they're being pumped. Pumped is not the right word, right? Pumped is because pumped happens when a coin jumps up so sharply and then dies so sharply. You can see there's like this gradual increase, and it's just gradually going up because people are understanding what the value is of permissionless and decentralized transactions, because that's what it's basically about, right? That's why it's getting so much traction. That's why it's getting so much interest. There's a lot of arbitrage, which is actually happening at the moment, where people are doing super complicated, for me it's too complicated, they are doing this really complicated transactions where they swap for USDC, then open a smart contract, take the rent from a DAI coin, and it's beyond me. I'm not that much of a techie guy. If I would look into it, probably be interesting, because people have these contracts, then manage to get interest over an exponential amount of crypto, which makes it very, very, I think it's called yield farming. And that yield farming, is being hyped at the moment as well, because any which way you can increase your assets, or you're increasing your crypto net worth. That's interesting. But they're using several methods of several DeFi products out there, and some with a really legit use case, right? There are many, some which are listed on our site as well. Sorry, on our website, on our exchange. Kava is listed, RSR. I think RSR would be DeFi coin. Let's see, what else is there? Comp, we've listed recently. Lend is a very popular one that's done like 100x. I mean, since the FICO, that's done like 4,000%. So that's pretty crazy stuff. That's getting most of the attention. BTC is just, being the sleepy king, just hanging out there, hanging around the 9K limit, and everyone's just, if any talk about BTC, it's the fact that it's going to go down or it's going to go up, but it's going to go below 9K or above 10K. Above 10K won't happen for a while, but as I said, the fact that DeFi is permissionless, it's important because it means that anyone can use the services, right? So it might increase adoption. It's super new, and it's definitely worth looking into. There are lots of DeFi coins with some really cool protocol features where you can manage, where finances are managed. You should go check that out. There's a lot of information to be found. I'm not going to shill anything because that would be highly unethical. Let me see. So in short, the ability to borrow funds, take out loans, deposit funds into like a savings account, and trade complex financial products. And you can do all of that without anyone asking for any verification, any KYC, AML, all that kind of stuff. Permissionless, open an account anywhere. That's gaining a lot of traction. As for Gate, we've launched something together with another big mainstream exchange. We're one of the two who have offered it. It's the fact that we're launching short-term options trading. So BTC, USDT short-term options and simulation trading for call put options. For people who know what options are, you have the right to you have rights and obligations depending on if you place a call or put. It's a bit more complicated trading feature. I'm not very well accustomed to it because I'm not a trader, but if you hear the word options, that should ring a bell if you're a trader. And it's super interesting, right? Because it's happening with crypto, not with the traditional finance market. So that means there'll be more volatility, but there'll also be more opportunity if you know what you're doing. Maximum buying amount is 100 USDT. This is going to be increased in the next days. You can head over to gate.io, head over to derivatives under the navigation bar, click short-term options, derivatives, and that's where you can change, you can trade your options. Let's see. That's one major announcement we got. The other one is the fact that, and that's some really fun news, right? That's something we're very proud about, is we're launching a bug bounty program. We've launched one in 2019 and rewarded white hat hackers, so-called white hat hackers, developers, and a lot of tech-savvy developer dudes and dudettes to check our infrastructure, our network for frailties, for what's the word, for vulnerabilities. We rewarded people who found them. I'm not sure exactly what was found at that time, but it was a good incentive for us, you know, especially because it was a booming market back in 2000. Actually, it was the end of a booming market, but we you know, have invited several companies, several businesses to do stress tests, penetration tests, infosec, check if they could get into our network in any way by force, brute force. But the result of that is we are going to do a cooperation with Hacken, and we're going to do a cooperation where we facilitate a bug bounty. If you head over to the announcements, you can find what that is about. And on CR Live, they have ranked the top 100 exchanges by cybersecurity rating. We rank number 1, which is a super cool way of you know, validating the fact that we hold security to such a high standard. I mean, because everyone can, you know, talk the talk. We actually walk. Let's see if I'm still connected. I'm still connected. All right. So yeah, we got rewarded in that sense that we have been audited on levels of security. There are several metrics which you can abide by. If you head over to cer.live, the first thing you'll see, top 100 exchanges by cybersecurity rating, is that we rank number 1, score of 9.38 with a very high trust score. Not the highest trust score, but certain metrics apply. We are certified. That's a certificate that they give out, which means we've survived the penetration test, the proof of funds, the bug bounty, and proactive user security is one which is still remaining. That's the second announcement, which was quite significant for us. So definitely keep that in mind. Keep your eye on that. There's a last one, which is a bit more complicated for the more techie people out there. We've done another research after last week's research about zero knowledge proofs. The application of options volatility arbitrage strategy in a cryptocurrency market. Haven't had that in a while. Sorry about that, guys. My internet connection seems to have ended the live stream. Where was I? The application of options volatility arbitrage. So the arbitrage between price differences, the percentages, and quickly swapping them to make a small percentage. If the amount of crypto asset is big, a small percentage can make a big difference, right? That's in very, very layman, a lot of layman terms there. Traditional finance markets, building different models to simulate the market performance of financial products. Many investors attempt to predict the future performance of these products in order to actualize bigger profits. As a new trading market, the cryptocurrency market has some similarities with the traditional financial markets, which implies the price of cryptocurrencies could potentially also be predicted by conducting different mathematical models. So they've done this before, our research team. They've taken mathematical models, either tweaked them from traditional finance and applied them to cryptocurrency, or have created new models altogether. They're mathematical models, so they should in that sense be flawless. They have applied them to the options market and made like a kind of a prediction of volatility on options trading. Because we've launched options trading, and they wanted to see what the potential is for volatility, the effect on the user, how it can be maneuvered as a trader. They've applied the Black Scholes model, which is a financial trading model. Let me see. Volatility is the only parameter that could not be obtained by direct observation with the Black Scholes model. Change in volatility can greatly influence the value of the options. Lots of valuable information, but not for a beginning user. Definitely for someone who knows what they're doing, who knows what options are. But the cool thing is that if you want to get to know about it, you can head over to our simulation area and trade with fake internet money. So you can trade with tokens, coins, which hold no real world value. They're not correlated to any mainnet. They're testnet coins, and you can trade them to see how the options work, what a call is, what a put is, and you can learn what the obligations are, what the rights are. So that's definitely something, if that's something which interests you or you're talented in, go and check that out. I think I saw some announcements about, while I was online, about hold and earn, but I'm not entirely sure. Let me see that. So Tron, POS mining, yeah, see that's just started. And our hold and earn section, the percentages of proof of stake have dropped a little, because generally they're very high at gate. We have the highest proof of stake token percentages, annualized rates. So for TRX Tron, it's 9%, still better than any bank. Truth be told, it's a fluctuating asset, and your euro or your dollar doesn't fluctuate that much. So even though it's a negative interest rate, at least you're going to keep the steady amount. And with crypto, truth be told, you never know what it's going to do. However, we are currently in kind of like an alt season, right? Lots of alts are doing things. There's a lot of dynamics at play where institutional investors might be involved in the background. We're in this in-between phase where there's like this hope that the repercussions of COVID-19 on the entire market aren't going to last long, and there's going to be kind of a recovery. It's in Europe. It's the summer. People are positive. People have an optimistic point of view. What I mean is there's not a lot of bad action going on in the stock market. That may come, but at the moment, not much is happening. So this alt season might be able to pull through. Obviously, it totally depends on how the regular stock market is doing, how the global economy is doing. But for now, you can get 9% on Tron, 4% on EOS, 12% on Atom, 12% on Algorand. VeChain is 10%, and they're all going to last for 81 days. You can just deposit your coins at gate, subscribe to the hold and earn. You can withdraw at any time. There's no lockup unless it explicitly mentions it. Let me look up one which has a lockup. Yeah, see the Sentinel chain lockup and earn, 60% annualized rate. but you'd have to lock it up for a remaining 27 days. So that's the payoff. You can't trade it if you want to. Another one is the 1500% for NAS to NAX POS mining. It's the mining coin of Nebulous. That's a huge annualized interest of 1500%. If you're not interested in options or in margin trading or in perpetual contracts or our new delivery, we call it delivery contracts, which are our futures, then go over to Hold and Earn, and maybe you find something there for you. The final thing I want to touch upon from an advice, do your own research perspective, is an article which was published on beginning of June, paving new ways for high-end security, right? So last week I talked about how sending Ethereum from an exchange to an exchange is not advisable, because you're basically sending from a smart contract to a smart contract. Now, if an exchange doesn't accept that as a deposit, if they want you to deposit from your personal wallet, from MetaMask or wherever you're holding your tokens, then it will explicitly mention it. However, some exchanges don't mention it, which means that the screen is frozen again. How about I click on continue streaming? I'm just gonna have to assume that you can't hear me. So sorry about that, guys. I understand interruptions are definitely not very preferable. I've connected now to my Wi-Fi, so that should be solid. I was talking about how Ethereum, you send it from a smart contract to a smart contract. Chances are that it won't arrive properly unless the exchange has a mechanism where they can easily trace your transaction. Just goes into a huge pool. It's hard for them to trace. The reason they mention that you shouldn't send it is because it's not easily recognizable from a smart contract to a smart contract. Don't know the tech behind it. To be honest, I'm not very interested in the tech behind it. I just know from a user-friendly perspective, it's better to send your Ethereum directly from your own personal wallet if you want to send it to an exchange to trade, to stake, whatever. That was what we talked about last week. This week, I want to talk about a little bit about security. So we have three main pillars, one of which is security, the other one is integrity, and the final one is transparency. So integrity speaks for itself. We want to be transparent, want to be clear with our audience, with our users, what we're doing, what our developments are, which tokens of GT we're burning, which tokens we are listed. Don't forget, we don't charge a listing fee. So whenever our projects reach out to us, we mention, they say, yeah, we don't have much budget to list the coin. That's not really a big issue. We just look at fundamentals. We don't in any way charge listing fees. So I think that's a super cool feature. The fact that there are no fees are charged, it shows there's some research and some thought being going on into the metrics of a certain coin, because in the end it needs to benefit the user, right? There needs to be liquidity, but there also needs to be a level of volatility, but not too much volatility. We also have, for any users of Gate, they know this, we have notifications in the app. If there are any swings above 10% in a 5-minute time frame, you get a pop-up. Whether you like it or not, you get a notification saying, yo, check this out, there's a lot of action in the market. Watch out if you're trading, trade with caution, all that kind of stuff. So amongst those pillars of integrity, transparency, security is also super high on our list, and that's why we rank #1 on CER.live, the top 100 exchanges by cybersecurity rating list. We're super proud of that. And the article we published covers 10 topics. The first one is beware of phishing scams. That may seem super obvious, because either if you're Gen Z or younger. Okay, stuck again. No, not. It's not. Okay, cool. Got the Wi-Fi. Sorry, guys. So if you're Gen Z, you're a young boy or girl, young man or woman, you may think, yeah, like I'm not much into phishing in the sense that I'm never going to click on a phishing link. However, we're busy social creatures, digitally social creatures, and whenever an email pops up, you don't have time or you want to send a reminder, you might, out of habit, just click on it to see what it is, and that might be it. be it that it's malware or you're not paying attention, you're logging into a fake URL. So don't think that phishing schemes are only reserved for your parents or your grandparents. The biggest mistake you can make is underestimate the fact that anyone is being targeted by a malicious actor. So you may be super savvy, super techie, know what you're doing, very confident. Doesn't mean you should always keep your wits about it. Sometimes, actually many times, hackers, black hatters, if that's the right term, send links out which very much resemble a regular URL, and they're so crafty. I get sent phishing emails also, but I also get sent to me, with the question like, is this phishing or not? And I have trouble distinguishing based on how they constructed it, whether it is phishing. I mean, some tips are you can see it by the mistakes they've made, but you need to have good knowledge of English or whatever language that is you're talking about. If you hover over the link with your mouse, which they want you to redirect to, does it match the URL that it says? What if you take the link that is mentioned that they want you to go to, if you paste it in Google, does it appear, or is it a 404 error not found? All these things together, you need to be savvy about it, because all it takes is one click. So I hope I'm instilling a little bit of fear into you. Don't click on any links you don't recognize. So this is already mentioned, but definitely deserves a second mention. Who's the sender? Was I expecting this email? How is the message written? Does the message contain lots of mistakes? Does it have an incoherent structure? If anything, be suspicious. Your baseline should be suspicious and skeptical. Now, this goes without saying, but don't store any passwords or seed phrases in the cloud. So it's one of the biggest mistakes you can make. There are regular stories coming out of people being hacked, losing huge amounts of funds, where they put their seed phrases in the cloud via very complicated, structured with different file names, and they think it's encrypted. But truth be told, the best way to store it is on paper or on metal in a safe. I know it's old-fashioned, but you better be safe than sorry, because all you need is one mistake. You must understand that the incentive to get to you is extremely high, because you may be someone with a low amount of assets, but you also may be someone with a relatively high amount of assets. Screen frozen again, or am I going to continue? It's too bad. This is really too bad. Why is the screen locked? I wish it worked better. Hello. Hi team. Let me see if I can get back. I apologize for the inconvenience, guys. Sorry about that. For some reason, it doesn't matter if I'm on 4G or on Wi-Fi, my app seems to be closing. Maybe there's some trouble with the app. Maybe there's some trouble with the phone. I'll figure it out in the back end, but I know it's not very convenient. Sorry about that. So yeah, one of the biggest no-nos you can do is store seed phrases, passphrases, 24 phrase backup phrases, 33 backup phrases, whatever you have to access your wallets and funds in the cloud or anywhere on your computer. Know that if you do that, you're basically setting yourself up for failure, and you wouldn't be the first to be hacked. There are ways and ways to go about it, but that's definitely a big no-no. And the problem is that you think you can outsmart someone, you can outsmart a hacker by changing the names of the files, but if your incentive is, as a hacker, to get into your computer and steal your funds, and that's all you do all day, eventually someone's going to win, and with a little bit of effort and a little bit of social engineering, they might get closer than you ever wish they could. Cryptocurrency hardware wallet, several around. Several have some flaws, some security vulnerabilities too, like the Trezor had one. Ledger seems to be okay for now. Actually, I'm not going to mention that because I'm not sure I can mention that, but that's something for future notice. At the moment, no, I'm not going to get into that. So hardware wallets are interesting because they are not connected, they're off-chain, they're not connected to the internet for a long period of time anyway. Same goes there though. if you have a Ledger or Trezor and you take your recovery phrase and you say that recovery phrase somewhere on your computer or in the cloud, you have just as much risk, because they can get the hardware device and enter. They may need your PIN, but they can crack that. That's been proven. And then all they need is a recovery phrase to get access to your funds. So it's mentioned explicitly many times when you purchase the device, when you log in online, when you see it everywhere, but people still make this mistake. Avoid public Wi-Fi. Number 5. If you're going to interact with exchanges, wallets, public addresses, whatever kind of crypto information, you want to be 100% sure that no one is looking over your digital shoulder. Public Wi-Fi offers hacker the ability to position themselves between you and the connection point. Big no-no. So unless you know what you're doing and can create another port or have your own mobile router with you, have super security set up, I would definitely not advise that. Device safety is also important. That's an interesting topic, because I have friends with Macs who seem to never have any problems, because Macintosh is supposedly, how I say this, hack-proof. Not many viruses out there being able to penetrate the infrastructure, mainframe, network of a Macintosh. Windows, however, has a lot of issues: viruses, Trojans, botnets, ransomware, malvertising. You can get a lot of software to test for that, but definitely do that, because it just takes one bad link for you to click on, one wrong document for you to have downloaded, for you to get a whole bunch of problems. You can get malware which crawls your laptop for 12-word seed phrases. So even though you got it tucked away somewhere in a file, tucked away under in 1,000 maps, if it crawls your computer and finds 12-word combinations, it's just gonna extract them. Two-factor authentication, that's like a no-brainer, right? So you have two-factor authentication not only on all your exchanges, as on Gate.io, other exchanges too, but also on your emails. Because if you don't have two-factor authentication on your emails, and all you need is access to your email, there might be a chance to override the 2FA. It's not easy, but it can be done. If someone knows what they're doing, that's definitely something to pay attention to. Number 8 is interesting. I like number 8 because it's a bit of a cliche, but it's true. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. So it doesn't matter if you get a DM in your Instagram or on Twitter, and someone says, "Hey, I see you're into crypto, so I got this really cool opportunity for you." Anything that starts with opportunity, this is for you, gift, free, asset, it's all BS. Excuse my hardcore language. It's not worth it. Anything which is worth anything of an asset will come at a cost, either by investing in it or by trading it. Sometimes you can win something from an exchange. Cyber criminals do not discriminate when they try to socially engineer you, and if this incentive is high enough, they definitely will do that. So respectfully refuse. That all makes sense. Then number 9 is become a password manager ninja, right? So nowadays everyone's online, digital, social all the time. We have about 1,000 accounts, not 1,000, but you get my point, on phone, synced with laptops, synced with desktops, synced with other phones. So you need different passwords for everything. And you think, okay, how is that possible? How can I do that? You're gonna have to find a tool to work with you, or have a system on paper. Again, you cannot save these passwords in the cloud or in seed phrases, because you're just screwing yourself. If you go to haveibeenpound.com, you can type in your email address, and considering the fact that most companies are super unethical when it comes to dealing with our data, be it Facebook or Hotmail or LinkedIn or Dropbox or Musical.ly or Dubsmash, all these companies have suffered data breaches. That means that if you ever open an account there, even Instagram, I believe, if you ever open an account there with your email address, chances are you have been pwned, right? So your password has been stolen. If you don't pay attention, you don't change it, chances are they're being sold on the dark web. That may sound a little bit paranoid. However, you're gonna have to assume that it's true. data is money on the dark web. So black hats and bad people, malicious actors are trading that, and they are making sure, it's a very low effort kind of thing, right? They can just take an email, log in, oh, I got access, see if they can find any personal information related to crypto, not related to crypto. It's still definitely something you want to check. Go to haveibeenpwned.com, get a password manager tool, preferably not Google Password Manager, because all you need for the Google Password Manager is one password. So if that password is known, they can access your content anywhere from in the cloud. There are several password managers which use encryption on the back end. That's super interesting, because even though that may be a cloud-based tool you're working, if you look on the back end, if you're tech savvy and developer savvy enough in the back end to look at the encryption, you can see there will be no way to derive the actual password that you're using. I'm not going to get into details there, but do your own research. Definitely, learn how to make strong passwords. There are techniques to do so, combination of digits, numbers, numerics, special characters, and using combinations of dates of birth, cats, dogs, names of third aunties, whatnot. If you take all that information together, you can make a kick-ass password. Last and final measure is on a level of security, make sure that your exchange has had an audit conducted by a professional accounting and business consulting firm to prove the presence of your collateral. Now, this is very unique because there are no exchanges which have done that. Of course, ours has done that. Gate.io has had an audit conducted by Armanino LLP, which is an independent American auditing firm. They've proved the presence of funds. They have a separate a link, a website where you can head over, you can add the hashed ID. There are all instructions how to do this. You can add the hashed ID and you can prove the presence of your collateral. It's limited to BTC, your BTC assets, but it's still a super cool feature. But it's important, right? Because exchanges can say, exchanges can say all they want, but if you can't prove for yourself, verify, don't trust, then what is it worth? What is it worth? These were the 10 security features which we found most important as one of our pillars: security, integrity, and transparency. A lot of information for you to take in. I enjoyed this live stream, and I think next time we can get into some user questions. At this moment, there are not many questions arising. We had some interruptions. Sorry for that. I'll definitely tune in. I won't be here for the next 2 weeks. Maybe Speedos will, go on a little bit of a live stream adventure and, have a go himself. If not, maybe Marie will pass by and say hi. But no worries. Like if my live stream stays out, Diksha will be here on every Wednesday to explain about the crypto market, specifically the Indian crypto market. And Marie reflects on the week every Friday. So in Crypto Flavors, where she looks at all the crypto stuff which has happened, who's getting sued, which coins are getting forked, whatnot. Thanks for the live stream, guys, and hope everyone has a great week. And that's it. Bye-bye.